everybody, this is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo. Today's video is all about the color purple. It is the collaboration challenge that's hosted by Metal Scrappin' Chick called Passion for Purple. For this for Purple collaboration, I wanted to show y'all how I made a floating necklace. Several videos back, I put together a floating necklace and I just kind of gave you a tour of it. I didn't show you how I did it. And I had a few people ask me if I would do a video on how to make one. So this is what this video was supposed to be all about. And I had it all done. I went back to edit. Guess what? The video was gone. I was so frustrated. Fortunately, though, I did not finish the necklace completely before I actually started editing the first part of it. I don't normally do that, but for some reason I decided to, and it was really a good thing I did. Before I go any further, I want to apologize for this glare. I have been trying to figure out a new system for my videos. Normally I'm in my dining room where there's a lot of really good lighting, but I've been putting my craft room together. It's not quite all together, but I've been trying to come in here and I want to do my videos in here, but I don't know. With these glasses, all the lighting that I have seems to glare, and I don't want to look like this. So anyway, I got to figure that out. In the meantime, let's get back to this necklace. So let me just tell you what I've done. Let's get some light on here. Sorry, I forgot to turn all these lights on. All right, that's a little better. So what I have done, I use monofilament wire because you don't see it, and this is kind of supposed to be floating. So the wire is supposed to be invisible. And depending on how close you want your beads together there determines how many beads you want. This one's pretty full. I don't know if I would go any fuller than this, and you can use less beads. I actually have 43 beads along here. I have small Silvertone spacer beads. I have larger beads, and I have medium-sized beads. I actually have two sizes of medium-sized beads. So depending on how you want this to look, like I said, determines how many beads. At minimum, I would use, your spacer beads, a big bead, and one medium bead. I just decided to throw in two medium beads. I like the different textures that this adds. Also, when you're determining what beads you want, I like a lot of bling, and I love these type beads that kind of remind me of sea glass. And then the pearls. So I have a lot of texture in here. I've got the crackle glass, I've got the crystals, I've got the smooth, and they're very smooth. And then even with my spacer beads, those have a little bit of etching in them. Now, those of you who are beginner beaders, let me just say this about the monofilament. You can go and buy monofilament beading wire. You could also spend a little bit less if you're a beginner and get some fishing line. I use 20 pound when I do this, and I did some research on the monofilament fishing line versus the beading wire. And do you know what the difference is? The difference is the price. Fishing line is cheaper. And really, that's the only difference. I would not use heavy beads on this because it might stretch it a little bit. I'll be honest with you. When I first started making jewelry back in I first started making it when I was in high school, but making it to have an actual business, my first business, which was Treasures by Terry, I started using the fishing line when I was first making jewelry at that time, and that was in the 90s, mid 90s, beginning of the 90s actually. And I have necklaces today that I still wear that are on this 20-pound fishing line, and they still look brand new. So all that being said, let's get back to this. I am using these clamshell bead tips, and after cutting my wire, I put the bead tip on the very end, tied a couple of knots, closed it up, and then I started putting my beads on. Now you have two lines here. The small beads you're going to feed through both of the strings, both of the ends, okay? So that being said, you need to have ones that have a hole big enough so you can thread two ends in there. All the other beads, only one end. So thread in two ends, one end. I don't know if you can, I think you can see how that wire goes above that. And then the next one, two ends. The next one end, two ends, one end, and just all the way until you get all your beads threaded up. So your next step is to put the other bead tip on the end. I'm going to want this to be roughly 18 inches, and I got to allow for my clasp, so I've got this at about 16 and a half inches. So, determine the length you want your necklace, and that's where you're going to put your bead tip on, and you're going to put both of the wires through the bottom, okay? Then I tie two knots and feed it in to the opening there. That's one. And that's two. Once you get to that point, you're going to use pliers to gently close this up. And then you're going to cut these two wires off, and you just need to add your whatever clasps you want. I love this purple. Isn't that pretty? I do have a passion for purple. So I have a couple of jump rings, and I'm just going to use this little lobster claw. I want to make sure it opens up. Yep. And then I'm going to open this jump ring, put the lobster claw clasp on, and close it up. Put it on one side. Close her up. Make sure that's closed up. We don't want our clasp falling off. And make sure your other jump ring doesn't have a gap. And you're just going to put it on this other end and close it up. And there we have our necklace. Oh, look how pretty this came out. By the way, these beads are all from one of the Jessie James collections. It's called the Color Trends Bead Mix in Lavender Fields. I'll leave a link down at the bottom so you can go check out these beads and all the other things that they have on their website. I really fall in love with Jessie James. Anyway, I hope you go check out all the other participants for this collaboration challenge. I don't think everybody is making jewelry. There's all kinds of different artisans doing paper and I don't know, just a lot of different crafts. So check them out. Just use the hashtag #PassionForPurple. I'd appreciate a thumbs up. Mostly, though, I hope y'all have a fantastically wonderful day. This is Terry Jeanette with the Tapping Flamingo signing out for now. Bye-bye.